Greetings, I am your host, Dr. Wolfula, and welcome back to October. Enjoy your stay. This time I'll be reviewing a film starring our favorite hockey mask-wearing zombie, Jason Voorhees. The movie is Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. This was the last film in the series produced by Paramount before they sold off the rights to New Line Cinema. Let's just say this, the first Friday the 13th came out in 1980. Part 8 came out in 1989. That's one Friday the 13th almost every year. So it went without saying that audiences were getting tired of Jason after all the films that were being pumped out. So Paramount decided to mix things up by sending Jason to the Big Apple, New York City in his 8th film of the decade. What could possibly go wrong? Let's watch. The film begins with a yacht floating past Camp Crystal Lake and, well, we're off to a good start. A teenage couple is getting their rocks off for the final time ever. In the middle of it all, the dude decides to be a total buzzkill and tells his girl about the murders that happened nearby.
Just that we're right around that summer camp where all those murders took place.
What murders?
She's from Crystal Lake. How does she not know about the countless murders that happened here? Seriously, when this dickhead tells Jason's origin story that we've heard 1,000 times, we see a flashback of Jason drowning. That is not what Jason looked like as a kid. This is what Jason looked like as a kid. Did they even see the first movie? While this is happening, Jason is having a nap at the bottom of the lake, waiting for some bullshit to bring him back to life. In this case, it's the yacht's anchor hitting a thing that causes electricity stuff to pass through Jason. I guess it brings him back to life. Back on the ship, Susie is scared by her boyfriend Jimmy, who is wearing a hockey mask. What a lovely series of coincidences.
Got you good, Susie.
They get back in the sack and Jason masks up. Jason needs to work on his aim. He's starting to get sloppy. I kind of wonder why Jimmy just sat there. Jason eventually finds Susie and really slowly stabs her in the stomach. He's pretty much just going through the motions at this point. The next day, a high school senior named Rennie is about to embark on her graduation cruise to New York when her teacher gives her a gift.
Stephen King supposedly used it in high school.
Okay, movie, don't try to drag somebody that's actually good at horror down to your level. While this business is happening, Jason climbs on board the ship for some reason. I don't think there are any camp counselors on this ship, Jason. So the cruise ship begins its long trip to New York City. It's chock full of teens doing all sorts of trendy activities like shuffleboard, skeet shooting, and, disco. On board, Rennie meets up with her boy toy Sean, who gives her a Statue of Liberty necklace, but he's scared off by her creepy Uncle Charles. He reminds her of how frightened she is of water and how it probably wasn't a good idea for her to go on a cruise. Well, we need a female protagonist, so it's too late. Deep in the bowels of the ship, Jason encounters a girl rocking out. She spots him and runs, but he somehow appears in front of her and thwacks her with the guitar. Gee, I hope she's alright. The guitar, I mean. Rennie, while washing her hands, is attacked by some shit that should only be in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Did the director not know what kind of film he was making? I don't remember Jason appearing as a little kid in the other movies trying to give people seizures. Rennie's Uncle Charles, who is also a biology teacher, demands the final project of his student Tamara, the prom queen. She has other plans, however.
I mean, really?
Take a closer look, Charles. I want to make sure I've labeled all my organs correctly.
This is the scariest part of the movie! Tamara was actually having Leonardo DiCaprio here record this meeting so she could blackmail Charles. She really didn't want to do this project.
You're going to be very, very sorry, young lady.
Eventually, we get a shower scene from Tamara, and of course, this spells her doom at the hands of Jason. Ha! She broke a mirror! Get it? Friday the 13th? Bad luck? Huh? Huh? Actually, I don't think that was on purpose. I'll take what I can get, though. In the bridge, the captain and his assistant have some chit-chat before they die.
How old's your boy now, Carlson?
19 months.
Tremendous age.
The captain steps out for a moment and Jason sneaks in. Aw, Jason, why? Now who's going to take care of his baby? That guy was literally the only character that had a reason to survive this movie, and he only had a minute's worth of screen time. Jason then performs a boring old neck slit on the captain. I'm pretty disappointed in you, man. Sean and Rennie finds these corpses and alert the handful of people on the ship. Wasn't there more people on this ship? Did Jason manage to kill all of the other guests and staff members off camera without anybody noticing? Julius here suggests that they should split up and search for Jason. Has he seen any of these movies?
I'm in charge here.
School is out. Okay?
Ava, the Kelly Hugh character that I'm just now mentioning, has a run-in with Jason and is chased into the disco. Ava is cornered by Jason and... Wait, did Jason just fucking teleport? He did it again! Are you fucking kidding me? That's fucking stupid! Is Jason Nightcrawler all of a sudden? After showing off his new superpower, Jason just strangles Ava. This movie is so goddamn lame. The kids up on deck grab a bunch of weapons from a pile and scatter like flies. Wayne, the guy who's always carrying a camera for some reason, is wandering down in the bowels of the ship. He loses his glasses Velma style and shoots the first thing that enters his blurry line of sight. Unsurprisingly, it turns out he just murdered some regular guy. This snuff film is going to get him a lot of cash on the black market. Jason enters the frame and Wayne runs away, leaving the camera behind. He wouldn't have done that if this was a found footage movie. Eventually, Jason tosses Wayne into some electrical shit. That's what I'm talking about. So now the ship's on fire. Back on the deck, Jason plays some cat and mouse with Shaggy here. Once again, demonstrating his teleportation ability. What? Did he seriously teleport all the way to the top of that ladder? Oh, this movie is giving me cancer. Rennie does some chillaxing in her cabin when she sees the ghost of Jason Voorhees as a child? What? Real Jason crashes through the plate glass porthole and chokes a bitch, but Rennie defends herself with the Stephen King pen she got earlier. Didn't see that coming. Sean finds Rennie and they flee into the flooded hallway. James Cameron obviously stole this scene when he made Titanic. The few remaining survivors board the lifeboat and escape from their watery grave. Wasn't New York City supposed to be in this movie? They do some rowing for who knows how long when Julia spots something in the distance.
Hey, man. Yo, wake up. Oh, shit. Check it out. Damn, we're in New York.
Yeah, and it only took 1 hour. The group docks their boat, and apparently Jason swam all the way here. No, I'm just going to assume that he teleported. Because he can do that, apparently. Haha, Jason wears a hockey mask. That's so funny. The group is waylaid by a couple of gangbangers who intend to have their way with Rennie.
Follow us, we blow a fucking head off. Comprende?
We have to find the police. Well, look, I think we'll be more productive if we split up, okay?
Yeah, split up. Good idea, jackass. That's really been working out for you so far. In the dark alley, the druggies inject Rennie with a syringe filled with Hulk juice that sends her on a magic trip. Of course, we all know Jason's stance on drug abuse. Jason takes out the other guy, while Rennie escapes. Elsewhere, Julius is using a payphone to call the cops. Ha! Remember payphones? Oh yeah, Jason tries to get Julius, who for some reason thinks it's a good idea to go up on a roof where he can't get away. Julius's only line of defense is by boxing Jason. This is so sad. It's like watching Stephen Hawking fight Muhammad Ali. Eventually, Jason retaliates. I wish I could do that to this movie. Back in the alley, Rennie is tripping balls and is found by Sean, who reunites her with the others. They're guided by a cop to his cruiser, which has a bloody G.I. Joe head inside. The cop tries to call the cops, but Jason prevents this. Then he teleports in front of the cruiser so Rennie can run him down. Then she runs over a little kid version of Jason. You know, I don't really care anymore. After that and an explosion, Rennie has a flashback to her uncle teaching her how to swim as a little girl by almost drowning her. Fun memories. Rennie is pulled down by Jason in the lake. There's a lot wrong with this. Number 1, Jason would be a full-grown man by now, not a kid. Number 2, this movie seems to imply that Jason looks like this because he drowned. No, this is what he's always looked like. And number 3, why does Jason live in the lake? He had a shack in part 2, seemed to be a normal human, and wore a sack on his head. That's just nitpicking, though. This movie sucks for much bigger reasons. Whatever. Rennie's mad at her uncle and ditches him. Jason gets up from his nap and Uncle Charles runs off. What's the point of running from him at this point? He's just gonna teleport. See what I mean? Then Jason drowns the SOB in some sludge. Since everybody except Rennie and Sean are dead, that must mean the movie is almost over. The duo hop aboard a subway train, but of course Jason can teleport. I don't get why he wants to kill them. He's in New York now. It's filled with people he could kill instead. Why bother with these two? With the train stopped, they step out of the tunnel and into Times Square. This shot is where most of the movie's budget went into. And to think, there's only 10 minutes left in this movie and we've just now reached a scene actually shot in Manhattan. I hate this movie. Sean and Rennie flee to the safety of a nearby diner.
You don't understand. There is a maniac trying to kill us.
Welcome to New York.
Jason arrives soon after and is greeted by a fairly large, angry dishwasher. Trivia time! This fellow is Ken Kersinger, the stuntman who replaced Kane Hodder as Jason in Freddy vs. Jason years later. I wonder how Kane felt about that. I think he took it well. The survivors head down into the sewers with Jason following close behind. I really hope they get eaten by chuds. They're aided by a sewer worker who is, of course, killed right away. I guess Sean got knocked out too, leaving Rennie to fend for herself. This amounts to tossing toxic waste all over Jason. Why does he look like that? What happened to the cool-looking face in part 7? Here he just looks like an alien. Rennie slowly retrieves Sean as Jason pitifully stumbles toward them. They begin climbing a ladder as some toxic waste approaches. Jason starts vomiting at the sight of this and is swept away by the corrosive liquid. Jason burns away and somehow becomes a little boy. What? Who directed the ending to this flick? David Lynch? What is it supposed to mean? Son of a bitch! Yeah, even though they just lost all their friends and family, Sean and Rennie proceed to enjoy their New York vacation. I hope they die in a drive-by shooting. So, that was Jason Takes Manhattan. You can probably tell why this was Paramount's last movie in the franchise. It also didn't help that it barely lived up to the title Jason Takes Manhattan. Now we know that 2/3 of the movie takes place on a cruise ship and only a few minutes were actually shot in New York. The rest was shot in Canada. For serious. You know, you can knock Jason X for sending Jason into space. At least most of that movie actually took place in space. I give Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, a cruise ship out of New York. Man, this is exhausting.
Working on the streets of New York, did you get a lot of people come up to you, ask for your autograph and stuff like that?